in our pantry. So are we ready to go? Okay, so we're going to start by adding our butter and our leeks. I'm going to pop that in there. Nice and easy, nice and quick. And we're going to pop that onto our stir fry mode. Oh, look at that. I already had that set up. Wasn't that clever? So stir fry, and I'm going to leave everything as is, except I'm going to drop it to 3 minutes. Okay, so we're just going to drop our time to 3 minutes, and we're just going to let that fry off. Okay, let's get that started. Now, if during the 3-minute process you want to stop and scrape down any of the sides, absolutely, you can do that, not a problem at all. If you want to sort of get all of that fried in nicely, you will start to see that little bit of that sort of caramelization on the bottom as well, which we want to be able to get those leeks really cooking. So I've left it at 160 degrees. We're going to let that go for about 3 minutes. So we are going to stay on the stir fry function for most of this. From memory, yeah, we are, until we get to our white sauce part. So with the white sauce, for anyone that's watching tonight that's made the bechamel sauce in here, you know that it's fabulous. It is a foolproof recipe. I find it works every single time I do it. This one is a little bit different. I'm using quantities of flour and butter a little bit differently, but not only am I using milk, I'm also putting chicken stock in there. So to be honest, I was surprised that I got it to the thickness I needed by adding that much liquid with the chicken stock, and it really comes together beautifully. So we'll let this one fry off, and again, listen to that. Can you hear the steam? I don't know whether you can hear that, but it's steaming and sizzling away beautifully, which is what we want. Okay, so we'll let that keep going, and I'm going to get ready with my chicken. So leek was just one leek, mostly the white part only, and the 20 grams of the 60 grams of butter that's in the recipe. Once we release the method, obviously all of that information will be there. 500 grams of chicken, which we're going to add next, so we'll pop that in just a minute. And we've got our little ramekins to go as well. So these are the ramekins that I'm going to use. These are pretty standard ramekin size. I mean, you can buy lots of different sizes, but this is sort of a fairly standard size. If you wanted to do it as a whole pie, if you wanted to do pastry on the bottom as well, you could do anything with this, and that's the beauty of it. You absolutely can do whatever it is that you want to do with this recipe by being able to do it in different sizes. You could also do, sometimes when I'm cheating, or if you want pastry top and bottom, I just get my pastry, cut it into 4, one base, put on like the chicken mix, and then put another square over the top and just push it in with a fork, couple of holes in it, throw it into the oven. So really simple, easy ways that we can really, turn this recipe around and do whatever we want with, and that's what we love. Those fast, those quick, those really easy to do, and those really easy to pull out of the pantry type recipes. So we'll get this going. Almost, I think we must be close to finished for our first 3 minutes, and then I'm going to add our chicken. So with the chicken, I have just cut that chicken. I'll just grab a little spoon, but I've just put the chicken into sort of small little pieces like that. If you wanted a big chunky chicken pie, you can do them bigger. It's going to take longer to cook, of course, so I just wanted to do some nice little quick easy ones. But of course, you can change this up and do it however you like. So we're just going to scrape down the sides of that. Oh, leek and butter smell amazing. But could you imagine this leek chicken and just mushrooms? I think would be absolutely amazing. So I'll definitely be trying that. And pop our chicken in like so. Okay, nice and easy. And then we're going to get that going. We're going to leave it on stir fry. And we're going to go for another 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes, let's go. Okay, now what I love about the stir fry, now I'm going to leave the cap off for now, just to really get that sort of chicken to start stir frying and not adding too much liquid. I am going to put the cap on once I have my veggies in there, because it does become quite full, and we do really want to sort of keep that heat in to be able to cook those vegetables. Now, my pumpkin, for example, is just little pieces like this. Again, if you wanted larger pieces, you just need to cook it for a little bit longer, but I found that this size was really good. The other thing is if you get to the end and your veggies aren't quite cooked through, it doesn't matter because they're going to go back into the oven for about 25 minutes, which is going to keep them cooking anyway. So we'll let this go for 3 minutes and then we're going to add in our vegetables. So other things you could use in this, you could use if you've got broccoli that needs to be used, if you've got some capsicum that needs to be used. You could do, I used frozen peas and frozen corn. You could use them out of a can. It wouldn't matter if you're using your corn out of a can, whatever you've got, whatever you need. Again, like I used mushrooms, but you could pretty much use anything. So it doesn't matter what you've got, just get it in there. 500 grams of any of your veggies. So I tend to always have frozen peas and corn because it's an easy one in there, and quite often have mushrooms that I need to use too. So it's a really good way to be able to use all those things. The other thing I would do with this mixture is freeze it. So before you turn it into pies, if you've got things that you need to use and you think, look, I really don't need 4 chicken pies tonight, there's only 2 of us, do use half of the mixture, freeze the other half of the mixture. So if you managed to catch it a couple of weeks ago, I did a class on sort of some budget saving. This should have been in those list of recipes that I did, because this is a real, I think, budget saving meal. So we know that chicken is not the most expensive protein at the moment. So your 500 grams of chicken is going to cost you, say, $6, probably a little bit cheaper if you buy it in bulk. And then we're going to add in our veggies, which again, probably, I don't know, $3 or $4 worth of veggies. And then your white sauce. So you're probably looking at about $2.50 a serve for chicken pies. And you're never going to be able to buy a beautiful homemade chicken pie for $2.50. I will guarantee you of that. So like I said, nice, good budget saver that we can do and that we can add to our list. I also think it's almost not budget saving if you're using the things you were going to throw out. So it's kind of just food saving and wastage saving and those things as well. So what have we got there? We've got about 20 seconds, so we'll let that finish and I'm going to add my veggies. And I'm going to put the veggies through for about 5 minutes. Okay, so once we've got that done. Now, once we've got that done, I'm going to empty what's in here. I'm going to pop it into a separate bowl. I'm not going to wash the bowl that I'm using with. I'm just going to throw it all straight together to do my white sauce. So again, this is the only thing we're washing up besides that and the bowl that I'm going to pop it into. Who loves washing up? No, didn't. See, I can't even hear anyone answering because I know how much no one loves it. Okay. So, of course, our chicken is certainly not cooked at this stage. I'm not expecting it to. Let's just give you a little look so you can see how we're looking. So you can see in there, it's not at all cooked, but it smells delicious. And then I'm just going to throw out my veggies on the top. So I have got some mushrooms, corn, pumpkin, and peas. Okay, so that is all in. I'm going to pop my cap back on. But please, I want to know if you're cooking along with us. I want to know who's actually doing it, or whether they're or not they're going to whip it up on another day. You've got 4 days to, well, if you don't have to work on the Saturday or the Monday, you've got 4 days off to do all sorts of things in the kitchen. Shops are closed Friday and Sunday. Well, I think that's everywhere. I don't know. So you can actually clean out your pantry and make this and be really happy with yourself. Okay, so we're going to go on there for 5 minutes. I don't have wonky eyes, by the way. I'm looking over there because I've got a mirror, which is telling me to make it a little bit easier if you think suddenly she's not looking at you. I've got it all in there now and we're ready to go. So we're going to go for about 5 minutes on that one. And I'm going to have my bowl ready so that I can empty that in there. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is, I think in the instructions we give you, we talk about the puff pastry and how to work the puff pastry. You could totally make your own puff pastry if you wanted to. For tonight's purposes, and because we like, and really this show is all about quick, easy, midweek, or just quick dinners, I'm not making the puff pastry tonight, but you all know there's recipes in our recipe book. There's a recipe on our app. If you want to do that, absolutely go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to use frozen tonight to make it quick and easy. But the other thing is we do a little sort of decoration on the top, and I decided to get out my little Easter decoration. So I don't know whether it's been sent out yet, but I did a recipe for some sugar cookies, and I dressed them all up in little Easter, shapes and eggs and all sorts of things. So if you haven't seen it yet, look out, because it will be coming with a recipe as well. But I thought what would be really cute on the top of our pie is to do something like a little chicken. So yeah, just, you know, a little extra decoration over Easter to be able to do that. Now I know that tomorrow, Good Friday, a lot of us don't eat meat, chicken or beef, or, you know, everyone's different. So Sarah, who's answering all those questions today, actually sent me some pictures yesterday. I think it was barramundi fillets that she used in the recipe instead of chicken. Now she made it into a large pie and she said it was delicious. So really good to you know that you can actually do other things with it. So if you wanted to change it up and spice it up and, you know, make a you know, your fish pie that way, then absolutely, it sounds like it worked. So Sarah's done a wonderful job getting that recipe and testing it and trying it. So there is an option for tomorrow. So if you want to be a little bit different or a little bit clever, you totally can do that as well. So we're going to let that go another couple of minutes, and then we're going to remove everything. So I've got my bowl and spatula all ready to go. The next step's going to be our white sauce. Now, when I did this, it took, normally when I do a bechamel, it takes about 9 minutes, I think the recipe is. But with this one, I stopped it at about 8, but I'm going to check it tonight to see if I can even stop it a little bit earlier. It really just needs to have that beautiful creamy consistency. Now I'm just going to stop this for 1 second, and I'm just going to give it just a little stir with all of that that's up the top, because we want that all. I love the stir fry mode because it's got this funny way that it spins. But this is obviously quite full as well. Probably fuller than if I was doing a small stir fry. It's about 1 kilo of ingredients, or just over. So we'll just keep going with that. So it is, you know, a little bit more than what I would do a stir fry. But that's why I'm using the stir fry mode, because I want all those vegetables to cook through. I'm using that heat at 160 degrees because I really want that cooking well. And we've still got some bubbling and some sizzling going on in there, which is what we want. So once we transfer this into the bowl, it does develop some liquid, okay? So when I made my pies, I did not drain the liquid off, and I found that they were still okay. Probably a little bit liquidier than maybe you like, but I ate it with a spoon and I thought they were delicious and I had absolutely no problem. If you were going to be cooking it with, forgotten that I'm on live, so not to worry. Hopefully it doesn't affect the Facebook Live right now. Okay, so we're nearly done. We're nearly off. Oh no, we've got a minute to go. What's going on? I've got plenty to talk about, I'm sure. So when we do our bechamel sauce, we're going to do our bechamel sauce with our butter, and that's where the other 40 grams of butter comes in. So we only use 20 grams at the start. We're going to use our butter. We've got a couple of tablespoons of flour. So when we've done bechamel sauce in the past, you've got your different flours in there. I think you use plain flour and potato flour. I generally just use plain flour. I think it's 50 grams and 15 grams of potato, 50 grams of plain. With the bechamel, I always just use plain, and it's never been a problem. So if you look at that and you think, oh, do I have to buy potato flour just for that? I don't think that it's necessary. Okay, we're nearly done. Going to empty that into here. 10, 9, 8. So I hope you're all having a fabulous day. It's been a little bit drizzly here in Sydney, so it usually does for Easter, doesn't it? I can't remember. And the last nice Easter we probably had were probably all, I don't know how long ago that was. Okay, so there we have. So you can see that beautiful mixture in there, and it's literally just our chicken and our vegetables at the moment. So I'm going to scrape that in. And you'll see what I mean. There is a bit of liquid in there, but I don't want to waste that. I want to use that. If you wanted to, you could probably actually use it now as part of the 3/4 of a cup of stock that we're using is another idea. I didn't really think of that till now, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. It would be nice and tasty, wouldn't it? Maybe I will drain that off and see how that goes while we're here. Okay, so we'll just scrape all that in. Now, like I said, I'm not cleaning the bowl. I'm just going to go straight in, and I'm going to do my, just get those last little bits out, straight in and do my white sauce. Because who likes washing up? I think we already established that I don't. However, I would cook all day, if I had someone next to me to wash up all day. Okay. Oh, when I made it the other day, there was a pea in my white sauce and it still worked, so let's not be too worried. Okay, so this one here, we're going to just grab my trusty spatula and I'm going to pop my butter in there, like so. And I'm just going to let that have a little bit of a melt. So we're going to flick back now, just to experts, and we'll go back there. And we're going to, I'll just go up in temperature. It's funny doing things backwards, isn't it? Okay. So let's just take that up to about 110. Let's go with that. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it on 3. And let's go, I think that says 30 seconds. Let's just go with that. As long as the butter melts, that's all we want to do. So if I was to make white sauce on a saucepan, so on the hot plate, I would melt my butter and then I would add my flour and I would cook that for a little bit as well. And we're going to do exactly the same way here. I know with the normal bechamel, we just throw everything in. So maybe that would work. I haven't actually tried that yet. So I'm just going to stick with what I know, what I know is working for me. And we're just going to let that melt. Yeah. So that was 30 seconds and I think, oh, did I don't even know what I did there. Okay, I think it's been about 30 seconds, so we'll stop that. And see, induction cooking, that is bubbling away and that's exactly what we want. So I'm going to add my flour. And then I'm going to do this properly this time. And I'm going to do that for a minute. Again. So we'll let that mix together. I've just left it on speed 3. It's going to just go and do that for a minute on 110. And then I'm going to add my milk and my stock. Pre-made stock I made myself, ready to go. Always. But I actually am thinking, because there's quite a bit of juice in here, I'm going to try using the juice from here. Okay. You don't have to follow my lead on this one. But I'm thinking that it actually would be really nice. So you can just add it and it'll give that little bit more liquid at the end with your pie, but if you want it to be a little bit thicker, strain that off. Okay, we're at 20 seconds. Let me just check. Oh, looking fabulous. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. We're nearly there. Just wondering how I'll go. We'll be right. I can strain that off. We'll be good. Okay. Beautiful. I'll just give that a little scrape down. Okay. Now I'm going to add my 3/4 of a cup of milk. Like so. I am then going to do what I haven't done before, but that's okay. And I'm going to add some of that liquid. Oh, we'll end up with peas and all sorts of things in there, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, that will do. And I'm just going to top that up till I get to 3/4. Oh, so that's half a cup of liquid there. Okay, so we'll just top that up to the 3/4 mark. Homemade veggie chicken stock. Okay, and pop that lid back on. We're going to drop it down now to, I'm going to pop it on for 8 minutes, but I'm going to see tonight if I can actually do it quicker. But 8 minutes is what I noticed the other day when I went, oh, it's not even 9 minutes yet and it looks done. I'm going to pop that on speed 4 and I'm going to drop the temperature down to 95. So that's what I normally would do with bechamel sauce and we'll get that going. Cap on, that's not a problem, easy. And we're going to let that go. So let me just double check. 8 speed 4, yeah, beautiful. Okay, so we've got our chicken there that we're going to add back in a minute. I've got my ramekins ready to go. I'm just going to grab a scoop because we're going to fill those. This recipe filled these absolutely perfectly, the 4 of them, so it did work very well. If you're a big eater, you might eat 2 of them or 1 in a salad. It's up to you. Do whatever you like with it. Other thing that I think would be really yummy with these is to do some mashed potato and some mashed potato on the top. I think these would be delightful. Maybe a little bit of parmesan on the top as you bake them. So there's lots of different things we can do just to be different and to change it up. So you look like you're making something different every time you do it. So I might get my puff pastry out. Just give me 1 sec. Puff pastry I prepared earlier, just to give that a little second to defrost. Now what I do is we'll give that a second to get a bit softer. But basically I get my ramekin, and about 1 centimetre bigger than the ramekin is where I'm going to cut that, okay? And that just allows you to put it on and allows you to sort of just pinch it in around the sides, and then we'll do a little decoration or something on the top just to make it a little bit fun. So that is going around beautifully. We'll let that keep going. Rid of my mess. Now the other thing you can do is if you wanted to do a little, decoration on the top, the photo of the one that is on Facebook, so for the Cookalong tonight, is one that I made the other day, and I just used a little sort of measuring cup to actually cut the little round that went on top. So you could do all sorts of things, but today I will go with the chicken because it is Easter after all, and we are eating chicken, so why not? Okay. I haven't made as much mess tonight. It's not a bad thing. Less to clean up. So when I'm just going to look at this now. So that pumpkin is sort of just tender, but I would not make that stop you or make you continue to cook in there, because like I said, they're going to go into the oven and they're going to get another sort of 25 minutes of bubbling away in there. So you don't want them to be, soft now. We do want that little bit of tender, a little bit crunchy still. Okay, so we'll let that keep going. We've got, I think that says 5 minutes to be able to keep going. So what's everyone doing for Easter? Is everyone I was hearing today that a lot of people aren't going away. Lots of people are staying at home. The freeway between Sydney and the coast today did not represent that, apparently. So I'm going to try to head up there, but we'll just wait and see how the traffic goes tomorrow, because it's just not a holiday when you have to sit in traffic for hours, is it? So we'll get that going. What's everyone doing? What are you up to? Are you cooking with me? Please, I want to know. So I know a lot of you cook later. I know that in Perth, for example, we're a couple of hours ahead of you. So you don't always get to cook with us, but you do tend to cook later. But let us know, because we want to know what you're all doing out there. And are you loving the Cookalongs? Is it something you want us to continue? So is it something? I know that we've got our regulars, and thank you all for watching. And I know I've spoken to a few new purchasers of Cook Expert recently that will hopefully have jumped on today to get used to using and more comfortable using their machine. Talk to your friends that don't have them and make them really jealous and make them want one. Maybe we should do like a refer a friend. So an offer that, they cannot resist. But you know what? I know those that watch are loving their machines and loving what you can do with it. So that's already getting quite thick, and we're down to 3. So it's halfway through, and I can see that that's starting to thicken. So I love how quick this is. If I was to do bechamel sauce on the hot plate, or I used to actually do it in the microwave, there's a lot of stirring. There's a lot of in-between work, and this just cuts all that out for you. And to be honest, this is like one of my favourite things to do. Well, not just to eat, but, because you can add it to your cauliflower and your broccoli and white sauce. You can use it for your lasagnas. You can use it for, all those things. So it's a really easy one. Okay, this is probably soft enough for me to be able to start cutting. Nelly. Okay, so we're just going to sit it on there. We're going to, like I said, leave about that sort of centimetre around, and we're just going to cut that. And if you do it in a sort of continuous cut, you'd be surprised at how close you can get that without looking like it's not a circle anymore. And you know what? If it's not perfect, it's actually okay. It's still going to taste the same. I'm not much of a sewer or a cutter or any of those. Okay, let's just cut them all while I'm here. And we're going to have a little bit of leftover as well so that we can cut our little chickens out. So we'll just get that done. And then we're all ready to go. I'm actually planning to go late night shopping after this tonight. And then I'm hoping that when I arrive home, the cleaners have come in and cleaned the kitchen. I don't actually have a cleaner, so I will be waiting. Okay. Oh, that one's a bit close. See, doesn't matter. We'll still get round that there like that. Oh my gosh, I need to be slightly taller. I'm vertically challenged. Okay, last one. We're not wasting any of that pastry. I'll move that one that way a bit. Oops. Okay, so we've got those little rounds ready to go. And of course, they're kind of perfectly round, but you know what? It's okay. Now, the other thing I'm going to do to this is I'm just going to sit it, and I should be able to sit it here and do it. So we like to make them look a little bit clever. So this is what I did. I just left it there, and I found roughly the centre, and I hope you can see this. I'll pick it up and show you. And very carefully, we're just going to do some little kind of dents, okay? You don't want to go straight through your pastry, but if you look at the one that I did on the invitation, you'll see that this is how I did it, okay? So then when this bakes, we're going to get those little dents. We don't want to go right through. And don't worry about the middle because we're going to stick our chicken on there. Okay, so then hopefully you can see this. Can you see the little sort of cuts that I've popped in there without going through? So we're going to pop that on the top of our chicken pie. And then we can do our little rounds if we want, or our little chicken. Let's do a chicken. Oh, gosh, got to the 8 minutes. Ooh, you know what? This is perfect. Okay, I'm just going to move this little fella over there, and I'm going to pop. So I will show you that this sauce, I don't know whether you can see because I want to tip it all over the bench, but it's got that nice sort of thick consistency to it like a white sauce. And we're going to throw in our veggies. How are we at for timing? Oh, 6:30. I love a good 30-minute dinner. Okay. Well, it's got to do a little baking in the oven, but you can be sitting down on the lounge with a glass of wine or whatever it is that takes your fancy. We're going to add some salt and pepper. Season to your liking. And then I'm just going to pop it on for about, probably 30 seconds even, I think is what I did. Could be a minute. You just want to make sure that it's stirred. Obviously, we don't want to do, no, I'm going the wrong way. We don't want to mix that till it is a soup. But we're just going to give that a quick stir in. I think I might have even done it on 2A. Am I on 2A? No, I'm on 1A. Let me just add that to 2A. And basically we just want that stirred through. If you want to do it quicker, stir it through yourself, but this is just going to give that nice, you know, coating of all that chicken. And then we are going to spoon it into our ramekins. I'm just going to do one because you don't need to see me spooning all of these into the ramekins. Put our little chicken on, and then you're going to pop them into the oven. So if you haven't preheated your oven, oops, sorry, do that now. Get that ready. We're going to preheat it to 180. They're going to bake for about 25 minutes. Just watch them until they're nice and golden. You saw the one that I did, and oh my God, they were amazing. They were just nice and crunchy on the top. But like I said, there's so many ways you can change this. You can change the vegetables you're putting in there. Like Sarah tried, she put the fish in there. That must be really close to my minute. So we might just get that out. And adding that chicken stock to make your bechamel is totally a winner because it gives it that beautiful flavour. So we're happy that's all mixed through. Beautiful. Pop that in there. I'm going to get my little ladle. And like I said, this made exactly 4. Okay, so I'm just going to spoon them in like so. Now you don't want to go overflowing because you don't want it to bubble out on you when it's in the oven. So we're just going to get our pastry. We're literally, I don't even grease these and it came off beautifully. I'm just going to pinch that on around the sides. I'm going to get my little chicken. Come on, little chicken. Oh, I probably deformed him. No, he still looks like a chicken. I'm going to put my little chicken on the top. And there I have it. You're welcome to hang around for 25 minutes while I bake it, but you've probably got better things to do. And there we have our beautiful little chicken pot pies. They are tasty. They are yummy. You could change the flavour if you wanted to add some whole grain mustard or some Dijon mustard or anything, you know, to give it a little bit of a flavour change as well. But there it is. We are done. Who's ever thought of making pies and thought, no way, too hard? Absolutely not too hard anymore. I hope you enjoy this recipe. I hope that it's one that you add to one of your family favourites, and would love to know what you all think. And send your photos. If you cook tonight, jump back on, send us your photos. We'd love to have a look. But thanks again for being here with us tonight. Hope you all have a magical, safe and special Easter with your loved ones. Hope that the weather's kind and I hope that the traffic's kind. And I hope to see you all again very soon. Bye for now.